Brothers and sisters, it's midwinter here in Berkeley, in Northern California, and I'd like to talk about a winter green drink. And as I've said many times before, the heart and soul of health and healing at Living Tree Community is focused and centered upon green drinks. In all of our experience, nothing is more healing, nothing is more beneficial than finely divided greens. These days, one hears so much about superfoods. We do not set store about your goji berries or your maca powder or this or that or whatever. I mean, we certainly offer them and sell them, but to us, the true superfoods are your kale. The superfoods are your spinach, your organic carrots, your leeks, your tangerines, your beets, especially those foods that you've grown yourself in your backyard or in your front yard, or even if it's in a raised, even if it's in a windowsill box, or even if it consists of sprouts that you've made in the privacy of your kitchen. So to us, nothing is more important than taking charge of one's health. And especially when one reads these statistics of serious illness and reads of the epidemics of cardiovascular, of cancer, and tragically enough, of overweight and obesity. So it's more than time for us to take charge of our health and to make every meal count. And that's what we're going to be doing here today. So we're going to be making a winter green drink. And what we're going to do, we'll start with an ordinary kitchen blender. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need anything high-tech. Just ordinary kitchen blender, which you'll find in any department store or hardware store or whatever. And we'll start with we'll start with spring water. The spring water that we use at Living Tree is Mountain Valley. It comes in a glass bottle. They've been producing this spring water from a natural preserve in the Midwest since 1871, and it's simply the very, very best there is. So we're putting some spring water. And then, either alternatively, if we didn't want to use any spring water at all, or if we just wanted to be as organic as possible, why not use some tangerines? We're simply making the base for our green drink. So we're going to go. Dr. Kirschner, in the 1950s, working all alone in complete isolation, published a remarkable treatise, Nature's Healing Grasses. You can still purchase this on Amazon. And it's a book that a book of things that, a book of processes of healing that he came up with independently, working quite alone. An extraordinary treatise which everyone who is seriously interested in health and vitality should take a look at. And that was in the 1950s. And then there's a gap of around 40 years or so, 40, 50 years, when Victoria Butenko started promulgating green drinks here in Northern California. And to this very day, she travels around the world explicating the wonders of green drinks. So anyway, we're preparing the base. So we have some spring water and we have some tangerines. we have a wonderful base, as organic as can be. And in this, we're going to add some vital, alive organic spinach. This spinach is grown by Full Belly Farm, one of the finest organic farms here in Northern California. So we have our spinach. And we're going to blend it up. Then we have some red Russian kale. Kale is very popularly known to be a wonderfully healing vegetable, and deservedly so. So here's red Russian kale filled with calcium and nutrients. And we're going to put this in, press the button. Okay. And then why not? Why not add, here we have a wonderful leek. And let's just put some leek tops in for a flavorful taste, an oniony taste. We'll put some leeks in, press the button, and then we will add an organic carrot. We'll put that in. And then, for flavor and for color, to make it a deep red, we're putting, we're going to add a beet. There we go. Isn't that a beautiful red? How vital, how filled, how streaming with life forces. And this, my dear friends, is our green drink. And of course, we could have added some other things. Nothing could have been more wonderful than to add parsley, to add celery, to add Swiss chard. These would have been wondrous things that we could have added also to the green drink. But the whole secret is finely divided greens, This is the basis of our over 40, 50 years of experience in the natural food industry. We have been to innumerable seminars, innumerable workshops. We used to go every year to the international raw food symposium, which was coming out of Portland, and we would attend this year after all. And on the basis of all my experience, if you want to boil it all down, finely divided greens. Nothing is more healing, nothing is more salubrious than this. So now, tasting is believing. So let's see what we have. And this is what I do every single morning. Every single morning, I have a green drink. I have a green drink in a bowl. I would put the I would put the mixture, and then I would simply partake, and that's really what it's all about. Now I want to share a couple more thoughts with you, if I may be permitted. Green drinks, which you should be having for every breakfast and at every dinner, and of course dried fruits, nuts, and seeds. Of course broccoli, and of course whatever else. But the center of your breakfast and the center of your dinner should be a green drink. This is the true superfood, the true miracle food. And you'll have to admit also that the price is right. As far as the superfoods out there, so many have amassed incredible fortunes with their maca powder, with their spirulina and whatever, altogether unnecessary. Altogether unnecessary compared with parsley, lettuce, celery, Swiss chard, and kale that you've made into a green drink. This is only one step, though, in our fourfold way. In addition to this, we practiced at Living Tree intermittent fasting. I fast every Sunday night through Tuesday morning for 36 hours, and I find that this is very, very healing indeed. And during this time, I'm perfectly active. I'm here at Living Tree Community. I'm also doing gymnastics. I'm being very active. I'm driving around. I'm making telephone calls. I'm conducting business and so forth. So intermittent fasting, if you could set out, or if even part of the day, like skipping breakfast, for example, or skipping dinner, or just going on a regime of one meal a day. This is something to think about. Or take an entire day off. And for me, according to my schedule, Sunday night through Tuesday morning works just fine indeed. Something to think about. We can't keep overloading our bodies by eating, and eating. Not eating is a truth also, and heightens our awareness and our consciousness. And there's nothing like the feeling of exhilaration when one comes off one's fast. And let me say that one of the most important aspects of a fast is not the fast itself, but coming off the fast properly. Nothing could be more wrong than the concept, well, I have to go ahead and stuff my face because I have to get my strength back. No. Come off the fast on live juices that you've made yourself. Never buy any bottled juice that comes in a glass bottle in the store. Live juices that you've made yourself. Come off the fast on green drink. That would be another thing. But come off the fast gently, drinking much spring water as much as you can. So that's another element. The third element of what we're doing here is growing your own food. I have a garden up in the Oakland Berkeley Hills, and it's a great privilege for me to be able to garden all year round. Our climate here in California is frost-free. But even if you are not in a frost-free climate, you can always grow sprouts in your kitchen, and there are innumerable videos and innumerable books that will tell you just how to go about doing it. You can grow trays of wheatgrass, for example, in your windowsill. All of this is available to you. You can start right now immediately. Even though when you look outside your window, there may be snowdrifts of 4 or 5 feet. You can still start gardening now. So growing at least a part of, we've become so alienated and so removed from the land. And be it ever so humble as turnip greens, beet greens, radishes, kale, parsley, celery. Nothing can take the place of the living greens that you grow yourself. And let's agree, nothing can compare with the flavor of those tomatoes that you've started from seedlings in your backyard. And then the last element is vigorous exercise. We all need it. All of us are spending much too much time with our cell phones or glued to our seats in front of our computer. Vigorous exercise is not a luxury. It is a necessity in the late industrial world. And therefore, I urge you to get into some sort of regime. There are so many wonderful, wonderful classes. There are so many magnificent classes of yoga, tai chi, or whatever. But if you really want to challenge yourselves, I recommend a martial art, because a martial art will give you the discipline and the focus that nothing else can easily do. I myself play capoeira, Afro-Brazilian martial art. And certainly when you're in the Hoda, when you're in a competition, it really helps you, whether you like it or not, and you have an opponent whose ambition in the world is to kick you in your face. That really helps to enhance your focus so you're right there, present now, like it or not. So daily vigorous exercise. And the best time for vigorous exercise is before breakfast in the morning. Please, before breakfast, not after. This is very, very important. So vigorous exercise is so, so essential. So my friends, this is what it all boils down to. Living greens, parsley, lettuce, kale, celery, Swiss chard that you've created that you've blended into a green drink in the privacy of your kitchen. Thank you indeed, and bye for now.